Hello, 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 hello. What? No, make no mistake. Yes, it is a blue screen, but this video is primarily for those teachers who teach students when they go to open up their camera, they see a black screen or a screen with uh something kind of similar to this, but they can hear a voice. And typically, if you are an online teacher, you have experienced this where you've been teaching and you open up your camera and this is what you see: either a black screen or a blue screen or an image that your student has created. So don't be alarmed. I was looking at someone's video, and that's what kind of made me want to make a video like this. I was looking at one of my fellow teachers' videos, and she had made a comment that she had a hard time teaching to, people who did not, I guess, turn their camera on because she was saying that, it's kind of hard to read whether or not they understood or, and it's kind of difficult. And I can relate. When I started working online, the first company that I work with, the students had to turn their cameras on. But then when I came over to another platform, I realized that the adults or the children, they really didn't have to turn their cameras on. And it was really by choice. So I had to figure out how I was going to deal with that. And so I really don't know that there's just any strategy behind it other than, like, right now, if you look at the top of your laptop, you'll see that there, or your whatever you're using, I would say look directly at your camera. Don't look at your screen, because if you are looking at your screen, you'll probably be thrown off by the black screen or however it looks. Typically in Cambly, they have a black screen, and when the person starts talking, there's like this flashing green ball in the corner, and that's how you kind of know that the person is talking. There are some instances where they may not even realize that their camera is off. So what I usually do is when they first come on, if the camera's off automatically, I don't really say anything. I just go ahead and I teach to the person, and ultimately if they decide to turn on the camera, or if they give me little cues and they say, "Well, oh, look at this," that lets me kinda know that they don't realize their camera is off, so I'll tell them, "Hey, I wish I could see it, but I think your camera's off," something like that. So you could just give them little cues. Typically, you're dealing with so many different cultures, and some cultures really don't want to be seen, and especially, when we're dealing with children and some of the females, I think it's kinda like a, like, touchy there. Some of the cultures, or some of the people that I actually teach, they do wear the hijab, and sometimes they're fully covered and I can only see their eyes. So it really depends. And even in that situation, many times I cannot honestly tell you, there are some students that I have never, ever, ever seen the entire time I've had them. And I've had them for a couple of years, and I've never, ever seen their faces. I couldn't even tell you if I was walking down the street. I could probably hear their voice and say, "Oh, wow, that voice sounds familiar," but I've never seen them. But so I just have to say, I mean, that's one thing you can do. Just make sure that you're looking directly into the camera. That's usually what I do so that I'm not thrown off by what's going on in the screen. And I try not to look at myself. Like right now, if I'm looking down, you can tell the difference. I'm looking directly into the camera. You'll see my eyes. But if I'm looking, into the actual monitor, you can tell. So I try to stay looking directly into the camera, because that's a great way to not be distracted by what's going on the screen, um, and just kind of have the mindset that you're having maybe like a phone conversation. You can kind of pretend in your head like I'm having a phone conversation. I know these days many times you're on Google Duo or FaceTime or something like that. So a lot of people are not used to that. They're used to seeing like every person that they talk to. I don't know, maybe it's my generation because I'm used to talking on the phone and saying, "Man, it sure would be nice if we had, some sort of video equipment where we can see each other." So, we never thought that this would actually come to pass, but yeah, it has. And now that it has, people are just really keen on looking at each other and being able to see each other. If you are going to do this online platform, online teaching, online anything, many times you will run into this situation. So that's one way to kind of combat that. And just bear in mind, like I said, you can pretend like you're having a regular phone conversation without the video. Um, and I would love, love, love to see, especially the children. The adults, I'm not so, like bothered by it, but I'd really like to see the children's faces because many of them struggle with the pronunciation and they kind of get a little distracted. So that's my biggest pet peeve with the children. They get distracted and you really don't know what they're doing, and you don't know if they're lost or they're confused because the camera's off. And sometimes the parents are not in the room with them, so they don't really know how they don't even know that they're having a hard time or a difficult time. That happens to me. It's very rare that that happens, but usually when it does happen, I try to utilize the chat box as much as I can because they do have a translation tool. So if I need to type something in their language, I'll just type it. And I try, this is a great time to really practice listening because if you really listen, you can kind of hear if there's an issue, if they're struggling. And it gives you great practice. I don't know, maybe that's something that a skill that I've actually picked up just by being able to only hear and not see what they're going through. So I usually ask also, are you understanding? Is everything okay? And, they'll tell me, yeah, I understand, or no, I don't understand. Um, and it's not always beginner level students that turn the camera off. They turn the camera off for various reasons. There's some people that are just shy, and they don't want you to see them. I've had some people that actually were nice enough to tell me, hey, I'm turning the camera off because, I didn't feel like getting dressed today or something. So, they'll let you know. But either way, I just hope that I know it was only like a couple of tips that I gave you, but I can go back and just tell you again, if you run into that situation, don't be alarmed. Continue talking to your student like you would any other student. If you're having an issue with looking at a screen and seeing that it's blank or black, try looking directly into the camera, into not so much at the monitor but at the camera, because that helps with the kind of getting rid of the distraction. And then the other thing is, try in your head to try to pretend like you're talking on the telephone. I know that you could see yourself, but let's just pretend you're talking on the telephone. How many times have you been talking to someone on Facebook, I mean Facebook, on FaceTime, and they've just like straight turned the camera off or something like that, and you had to just keep talking. So, no, you can't turn around. I wouldn't go like this, or, try to pretend like don't go looking out the window. Don't forget, that's the other thing. Make sure you remember that you're still in front of the camera. All right. So, and kind of curb those, facial expressions. Don't get on the camera like this, making all these faces. All right. So yeah. So to anyone that's doing this, try it. Leave me a comment. Has that happened to you? Do you feel uncomfortable teaching students when they turn the camera off? I'm okay with it. I think because I'm used to it. Maybe you're not. It's something to get used to. And actually it kind of makes you a little bit more marketable. You're kind of like taking calls on the fly, and you never know. These in these cases with these situations, especially with certain platforms, you never know what you're going to get when that camera comes on anyway. So, it's best to just be prepared for pretty much anything. All right. I hope that helps you. I do plan to come back and talk more. I've been teaching pretty much most of the day, and I'm a little tired. I need some snacks. Actually, you know what? I'll show you in another video because I got these snacks. I'll tell you, my husband never had pork rinds, and I'm gonna do a video just to show you. what pork rinds I actually got him just so that he could taste a pork rind once in his life. So stay tuned for that. Have a great day. Talk soon. All right. Bye.